The phone screen glowed in the dim light of the cramped apartment, casting shadows across Amara's face. Her thumb hovered over the send button, her heart pounding so hard she could feel it in her throat. The message was simple, desperate, *Hey, I'm so sorry to ask, but I'm really struggling. Can you help me get some formula for my baby? I just need $20. She double-checked the number, squinting at the contact labeled Sis. It was late, past midnight, and Amara's eyes burned from exhaustion. Her 6-month-old daughter, Lila, slept fitfully in a second-hand crib across the room, her tiny chest rising and falling with soft whimpers. The last can of formula sat empty on the counter, a mocking reminder of Amara's dwindling options. Amara, a 22-year-old single mother in a small Ohio town, had been scraping by for months. Her job at the diner barely covered rent, and tips had dried up since the winter chill kept customers away. She'd already sold her old TV and skipped meals to stretch what little she had. Asking for help wasn't new. She'd texted her sister, Nia, before for small loans, but this time felt different. It felt like admitting defeat. Still, Lila needed to eat. Swallowing her pride, Amara had sinned. The message whooshed into the void, and she set the phone down, rubbing her temples. She didn't expect a reply tonight. Nia worked nights at the hospital and rarely checked her phone. Amara curled up on the threadbare couch, pulling a thin blanket over her legs, and tried to quiet the gnawing worry in her chest. She didn't know that her message hadn't gone to Nia at all. In her exhaustion, she'd mistyped a single digit, sending her plea to a number she didn't recognize, a number that belonged to Ethan Caldwell, the CEO of Caldwell Enterprises, a tech giant based in Silicon Valley. Ethan Caldwell sat in his sleek office on the 40th floor, the San Francisco skyline glittering through floor-to-ceiling windows. At 38, he was a man who'd built an empire from a single app idea in his college dorm, now a billionaire whose name graced Forbes lists and tech blogs. But tonight, he was restless. Spreadsheets and emails blurred together, and the weight of his latest acquisition deal pressed on his shoulders. His phone buzzed on the glass desk, a notification lighting up the screen. He glanced at it, expecting another work email or a message from his assistant. Instead, it was a text from an unknown number. *Hey, I'm so sorry to ask, but I'm really struggling. Can you help me get some formula for my baby? I just need $20. Ethan frowned, his fingers pausing over the keyboard. He read it again, then checked the number. No name, no context. His first instinct was to ignore it, probably a scam, he thought. He'd seen enough phishing attempts to know better. But something about the message tugged at him. The word baby stuck out, raw and unguarded. He leaned back in his chair, staring at the screen. $20. It was nothing to him, less than the coffee order his assistant brought in daily. But to someone else, it was everything. He typed a reply, then deleted it. What if it was real? He'd grown up in a small town himself, back when his family had lived paycheck to paycheck. He remembered his mom counting coins for groceries, the way her hands shook when she thought no one was watching. Against his better judgment, Ethan typed again. *Hi. I think you meant this for someone else, but I can help. Can you tell me more? He hit send before he could overthink it, then set the phone down, half expecting no response. But within minutes, it buzzed again. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I meant to text my sister. I'm so embarrassed. Please ignore this. Ethan's lips twitched into a half-smile. The honesty in the reply disarmed him. He could have left it there, let the stranger retreat into their mistake. But he didn't. No worries. Sounds like you're in a tough spot. Is your baby okay? Amara stared at the reply, her cheeks burning. She'd messed up the number, and now some stranger was asking about Lila. Her first thought was to block the number and hide under her blanket forever. But the question, is your baby okay? Hit her like a punch. No one had asked her that in weeks. Not her boss, not her neighbors, not even Nia, who was too busy to notice how deep Amara was sinking. She hesitated, then typed, she's okay, just hungry. I ran out of formula, and I don't get paid till Friday. I'm so sorry for bothering you. She sent it, then tossed the phone onto the couch like it was radioactive. What was she doing, spilling her problems to a random person? She paced the tiny living room, glancing at Lila, who stirred in her sleep. The stranger's reply came faster than she expected. Don't apologize. I can send you $20 for the formula. What's your Cash App or Venmo? Amara froze. Was this a scam? She'd heard stories of people pretending to help, only to steal identities or worse. But the empty formula can stared at her from the counter, and Lila's whimpers echoed in her ears. She took a chance, sending her Cash App handle with a shaky asterisk. Thank you so much. I'll pay you back. I promise. Asterisk. Within seconds, her phone pinged. A notification. $200 received from Ethan C. Her jaw dropped. $200? She checked the amount twice, then the sender's name. Ethan C. No last name, no details. Her hands trembled as she typed. Asterisk, this is too much. I only needed $20. I can't accept this. Asterisk. The reply was immediate. Asterisk, buy what you need for your baby. No need to pay me back. Just take care of her. Asterisk. Tears stung Amara's eyes. She sank onto the couch, clutching the phone. For the first time in months, a stranger's kindness cracked the wall she'd built around her heart. She didn't know who Ethan C. was, but in that moment, he was a lifeline. Ethan didn't sleep much that night. The interaction with the stranger, Amara, according to her Cash App profile, stayed with him. He'd sent the money on impulse, but her gratitude, raw and unfiltered, lingered. He wondered about her life, her baby, the story behind that desperate text. By morning, he'd made a decision. He called his assistant, Priya, into his office. Find out who this is, he said, handing her the phone number. Discreetly. I want to know if she's okay. Priya, used to Ethan's occasional whims, raised an eyebrow but nodded. Anything else? Yeah, Ethan said, staring out at the skyline. See if there's a way to get formula delivered to her address. Don't mention me. Amara woke to a knock on her door. She opened it to find a delivery driver holding 2 large boxes of baby formula, diapers, and a gift card for a local grocery store. A note was taped to the top. Asterisk for you and your little one. No strings attached. Asterisk, no signature, no sender's name. She stood in the doorway, stunned, as Lila cooed from her crib. The gift card had $500 on it. She checked her phone, half expecting another message from Ethan C., but there was nothing. She typed a thank you, then deleted it, unsure if she should reach out again. Instead, she used the gift card to stock up on groceries, her heart lighter than it had been in months. Days turned into weeks, and Amara's life steadied. The extra money gave her breathing room, enough to cover rent and buy a few things for Lila, a new onesie, a rattle that made her giggle. She kept working at the diner, picking up extra shifts when she could. But she couldn't shake the mystery of Ethan C. Who was he? Why had he helped her? A stranger? She searched the name online but found nothing conclusive. Just a nagging feeling that she owed him more than a deleted thank you. Meanwhile, Ethan's life was anything but calm. The acquisition deal was falling apart, his board was breathing down his neck, and the media was sniffing around for a story. Priya had tracked down Amara's address, a modest apartment in a struggling Ohio town, and confirmed she was a single mom working at a diner. Ethan didn't pry further, but he quietly set up a recurring delivery of baby supplies, always anonymous. He told himself it was a small gesture, a way to balance the chaos of his world. But deep down, Amara's situation reminded him of his own past, the hunger and fear he'd buried under layers of success. 6 months later, Amara's life had changed in ways she never expected. A regular at the diner, a kind older woman named Mrs. Carter, had noticed her work ethic and offered her a job as a receptionist at a local nonprofit. The pay was better, the hours stable, and they had daycare for Lila. Amara felt like she was finally climbing out of the hole she'd been in. But she never forgot Ethan C. She'd saved his number, and on a whim one evening, she texted him, Asterisk, I don't know if you'll see this, but I'm doing better now. My daughter's healthy, and I got a new job. Thank you for helping me when I needed it most. Asterisk. Ethan was in a board meeting when the text came through. He excused himself, reading it in the hallway. A rare smile crossed his face. He typed back, Asterisk, I'm glad to hear that. You're doing great. Keep it up. Asterisk, he hesitated, then added, Asterisk, if you're ever in San Francisco, let me know. I'd like to meet you and your daughter. Asterisk. Amara laughed when she read the message, imagining herself in a city she'd only seen in movies. But the invitation stuck with her. Months later, when the nonprofit sent her to a conference in San Francisco, she took a chance. She texted Ethan, half expecting no reply. To her surprise, he responded within minutes, suggesting a coffee shop near her hotel. The coffee shop was cozy, with warm lighting and the smell of fresh pastries. Amara sat nervously, Lila babbling in her stroller. When Ethan walked in, she didn't recognize him at first. He was unassuming in a sweater and jeans, nothing like the billionaire she'd later learn he was. He smiled, extending a hand. Amara? I'm Ethan. They talked for hours, Lila giggling at Ethan's attempts to make faces. Amara shared her story, her parents passing, her ex leaving when she got pregnant, the grind of survival. Ethan listened, sharing bits of his own past, though he downplayed his wealth. He didn't mention Caldwell Enterprises, only that he worked in tech. When Lila grabbed his finger, he laughed, a sound that felt foreign to him. As they parted, Ethan handed her a card with his number. For real this time, he said, winking. No more wrong numbers. The story of Amara's text spread quietly. A co-worker at the nonprofit overheard her talking about it and shared it online, where it caught the attention of a local reporter. Soon, it was a national story. Per single mom texts CEO by mistake, receives life-changing help. Ethan hated the attention, but Amara embraced it, using the platform to advocate for other single parents. She started a small fund with the nonprofit, helping families buy essentials like formula and diapers. Ethan and Amara stayed in touch, their unlikely friendship a reminder of the ripple effect of kindness. He visited Ohio once, bringing a stuffed bear for Lila, who called him a fan in her toddler babble. Amara never asked for more help, and Ethan never offered, knowing she'd found her footing. But every year, on Lila's birthday, a box of supplies arrived at their door, and signed. The world moved on, but Amara and Ethan carried the moment with them, a wrong number that became a right connection, proof that humanity's best impulses could bridge even the widest gaps.